just wanted to share with you this morning what's going on in the market. I think it's a great example. And what I wanted to take this opportunity to do is to show people how to use some basic Fibonacci tools. Because we have this group over in the Elliott Wave group, and we always talk about some things, but I don't know, it's kind of basic, but I wanted to share it with you anyway. So what I wanted to show you first is how to use a Fibonacci basic retracement tool. So if you look at the screen I got up there, and this is TOS, this is what I'm going to show you to use today, but most of the platforms all have these basic tools. So on the TOS platform, you'll see this one right here. It looks like a little percentage tool. And what I want to show you is how to measure from the bottom of this trend down right here to the top of this trend right here. And what you can see, you can edit the properties, and you want to end up at where that stopped. You can see right where it pulled back, and it just happens to be the 61.8% retracement, which is a pretty common Fib retracement. The other common Fib retracement is going to be 38% and the 50% is 61.8%. But for the Elliott Wave folks out there, the common wave 2 pullback, and this is just not common wave 2 or Elliott wave. Anytime you get a pullback, that 61.8% is very important. Also, what we have here is we have a little ABC, A, B, C. So that was a good short right there. So does everybody kind of get that, how to use that Fib tool? Down here, just select it. You start at the top, go down to the bottom, and you get the retracement. Okay. So next, what I want to show you how to use is the extension tool. And that's just to the right of the Fib tool. So on the extension tool, we're going to measure this move down here from the top of this move here. That's how you use that. It's a very common tool to use. And you'll notice where this move here ended up, this little area right here between the 138.2% and the 161.8%. That's where that price ended up. That is the common area where these moves down will stop and reverse. Sometimes they don't, sometimes they'll go further. You never know when these trend moves like this are going to stop. It could have gone all the way down to the 200% extension of this move from this move. So that's the way you use that extension tool. I'm going to take it off, and I'll show you again. Right here, this one over here to the right of that, from the top down here to the bottom of this move, and you pull it back up here, and that gives you your extensions. So hopefully everybody's got that. Those are the two big Fib tools that we use. Now, what else I wanted to show you is this move right here from here to here. I want to show you that, and that's another Fib tool. We just take it here, and we measure from here to here, and that's your wave 4. And these wave 4s, you always measure these from here, not here. Here, not here. And you'll see it, and it pulled back up right up here to the between the 61.8 and the 50% tool. When you're looking at these Fib patterns, price should not go or close above the bottom of this wave 1 here. That's just a basic Fib rule. If it does, there's something else we haven't explained yet. But that's the way you measure this. You measure from the top of 2 to the bottom of 3, not to the top here from 3. Everybody got that?
Hey, there's a question on the
Okay,
chat.
sure. How many candles we should use? How many candles? Well, this chart here, the patterns don't really matter. I'm using a 5-minute chart here, but if I put it on a 15-minute chart, it would look the same. You just wouldn't have as many candles. So I'm just demonstrating what the 5-minute tool, a 5-minute chart right here. So now the next thing I wanted to show you here is how to project an end of a move using Fib extensions. And so what we want to do here, I'm going to take this off, remove this tool here, remove drawing. So what we want to calculate, folks, is if this in fact is a 5-wave move down, how do we know where this thing should end? So all we do is we go back here to our basic Fibonacci tool and go from here to the top of 4. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click on edit properties, and we're going to take off these guys right here in the middle and end up with some more Fib extensions, a 127.1.27 and a 1.68. Okay, you got that right there. Most Fib patterns will end in this, somewhere in this box right here. Another way of doing this is, I'll show you this too, is you use the same, you go back over here and you get your extension tool, and we're going to measure from the top of 1 back to the top of 2, and these things should end around the 200% extension. So we'll just take these off, and this gives you further confirmation of where these moves should end. And you'll see this box right here. But I just used the same old extension tool with more Fib extensions on it. So for the Fibonacci, for the Elliott wave people that are on the Elliott wave group, you can see these waves right here. This is the wave 1 down. Wave 1 should be 5 waves down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're not always super clear, but you can tell when we get the bounce right here that this was most likely a wave 1. Wave 3s are going to be 5 waves down. Wave 4s are going to be a corrective type pattern. And now we're hopefully in this wave 5 right here if the count is right. Again, how do I know if this is wrong? The close is above 1 right here. Then there's something else going on. This is probably an A, B, C. But anyway, the main purpose of this little webinar was to show you how to use these tools. And like I mentioned, every platform has got these guys on there. These tools down here on ThinkorSwim, they're Fib timing tools right here. And they'll show you that you can use, I use Fib timing on some charts too. And it's one of the 4 things I look at, this Fib timing. But anyway, the main purpose is to show you how to use these Fibonacci tools. So do I have any questions? Well, here's one right here. Kenny, with Fib retracement, how do you know? Well, that's a great question. Kenny said, with a Fib retracement, how do you know what the bottom is in live time? Well, for instance, this bottom right here, if we're trying to pick a bottom right here, I always tell people, don't try to pick bottoms, because you never know when it's in until it takes out. In this case, it'd be taking out resistance in the other direction. So let's say this bottom is taken out here. I would say right here, let's say this was a bottom, which I don't think it is yet. But if it goes above basic price resistance here, you probably have got a bottom in, or above here. The other thing you could put on these charts is something that helps me is I always give you guys the weak support and resistance levels. They're really great in helping you if you're trading futures anyway to see what's going on. I don't have them on this chart because this is an SPX chart, but I put them on the ES chart. And the other thing you can put on there, there's a study you can put on there is daily pivots that shows you where the daily pivot is, support 1, support 2, which are excellent if you put the support and resistance levels that I just hand draw every weekend and give you guys with the weekend update. So Kenny, that answer your question. So whenever if you're looking for a bottom, what you want to do is put a resistance level based on price to know when you think it's over. But this is, you can see your major support levels. This is definitely one. This is now this is resistance. This is resistance. This is resistance, etc. So for the Elliott wave types out there, if we're looking for a wave 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and maybe 5 will happen. We'll see. Or it could be this wave 4 right here. Wave 4s are always a messy glob of stuff. This is pretty clean. If this is clean, this is usually going to be messy. And it's that time of day to get messy too. So any more questions? Okay, but that's the way you use those tools. Thanks for attending. So I'll sign off now. Thank you.
Thanks, Zach.